Welcome to Ecomm Cowboy. This is D2C's daily show where we believe ads are not bad. Ignorance is expensive and the American dream is alive and well on the internet today. It is Wednesday, April 29th, 2026. We're coming to you live from an undisclosed location in the beautiful Austin, Texas hills. And we have got a jam-packed show for you today, my friends. And I would just also say, I think I like to consider this show the unofficial home of the one-man brand, and the Superman marketer met a lot of those last night at Nate Rosen's event that he hosted down on 6th Street, downtown Austin, Texas. Many things have been happening on the timeline since we were here yesterday afternoon. It turns out that if you use a 3PL, your likelihood of scaling and growing your brand are significantly more than if you fulfill in-house, build your own warehouse, and handle that whole headache. How much more? Like 10 times more. Yeah, like 5 to 10 times more. Whatnot and Shopify have just released an official integration. I'm telling you, I don't think there's a show on the internet that is more bullish on these two, and they're working together. Now, sellers can officially integrate their inventory with Shopify and continue to roll forth. And an exciting new collaboration of sorts in the paid media space, CTC and Northbeam. We will talk about it. We're going to be joined by Chris Geiss, CEO of Seguno today, Laura Serino, and Ryan Holmes, the pioneers, the creators of the Viral Skeptics series that Postscript has just released, in addition to being joined by Kendall Dickieson, everyone's favorite social media marketer, social savant. She will join us and bring all of her wise CPG content knowledge along with her. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Colin Doherty. Colin, get in here. Get inside this show.
Let's go. How you feeling?
Feeling even better now that I cracked a seek and we're kicking off this show. Boy, a lot of things happening this morning. A lot of things.
So much has happened this morning. We're going to cover all of it. An unbelievable day for e-commerce, and I'm still bullish on e-commerce even after today.
Me too. Ecomm Fuel, as everyone should know, if they don't, has released their annual report. We covered a specific AI piece not many days ago, but yesterday and this morning, most of the talk on the timeline has centered around one piece in particular that we need to double click on. What is that? If you owned your warehouse, this coming from Andrew Youderian, he runs, has founded, and is He's chief daddy over at Ecomm Fuel. If you have owned your warehouse, your average rev growth for last year was 4%. Ouch, that hurts. Does that hurt you, Colin, a little bit?
That's brutal. That's absolutely brutal.
If you leased or outsourced to a 3PL, growth was 30 to 35%, a 9x gap. Can you believe that?
I can believe that. That's absolutely insane. I mean, I think it is just a testament to the focus should remain on growing your business, not fulfilling your business.
If you owned your warehouse, that is the case. Correlation, not causation, says Andrew. But I've heard from multiple owners who said, yep, that tracks. Once the warehouse pulls in your capital and attention, the growth side of the business quietly starves. Worth asking honestly, is the warehouse serving the business or the other way around? Now, many people had much to say on this. Bill D'Alessandro said this: if your brand operates a warehouse, I learned this the hard way. We had over 50,000 square feet at one point. Now we are totally virtual. Running a warehouse is seductive. It's thrilling to see and feel your business humming. It strokes the ego to tour people through the floor and hear them ooh and ah, but it's massive distraction. It comes with a lot of headcount and thus HR, hire, manage, fire, etc., carrier contract negotiations, CapEx for shelves and forklifts, pick and pack, process optimizations, lots of moving pieces of all types just to get packages out the door. And even if you're good at it, you're not even close to the scale of a 3PL. Same reason why everyone runs AWS now instead of servers in their closets. A 3PL can get better at shipping packages than you ever will. They can justify CapEx to save pennies and seconds that you never could. I love that this has been out on the timeline. When we were scaling Bruce Bolt like crazy, that was one of the big pieces of conversation we had. Maybe we should just build a warehouse. Let's just build a warehouse and let's do this fulfillment ourselves. Let's save a few dollars. Let's build for the future. I'm sure I'm glad that we didn't because this kind of knowledge and wisdom here is so helpful. There is something alluring and seductive about, oh, I'm going to build my own thing. This is a real brand, a real company that has future, and there's always this kind of like nagging thought in the back of your head as a founder or operator. Oh, these partners I'm working with, they're out to get my money. They're out to steal my money. I need to build and do it all myself in-house. Man, come to find out, the smartest thing that you can do for your brand is not be distracted with fulfillment and outsource to a great 3PL who can do it and save the pennies and the time and the seconds that you never could, so that you can focus on product and marketing and actually grow this thing to the moon. I thought this is great, helpful conversation happening here for D2C brands at large.
Yeah, I totally agree with it too. It's just amazing that the data is starting to back it. I think that brands get overzealous and overexcited and they want to bring all of the fulfillment in house and they think that's the right move. They're going to save a couple dollars. But what they don't understand is the bandwidth lift that it takes to actually build out a 3PL. It's an absolute nightmare. And it is not fun whatsoever to build out a physical goods space. You have to get the actual warehouse itself. You have to build out employees. You have to basically build an entire secondary business attached to your first business. That's why we have 3PLs, because it's an entire business on itself. And so I totally agree with this. I think brands should continue to work with great 3PLs like Matt Schroeder over at Tidal Wave. Just work with a really good 3PL, have really good conversations, and don't get tied down to a bad one, and you're good to go. Don't overthink this.
Matt had something to say about this. He said, I'm moving forward here to Matt's tweet, Jack. Warehouses are expensive. People are complicated, and downsizing either one is painful.
Yeah.
Matt ran a warehouse for his own brand. He said, and we were good at it. And my cost per order was still like $8. That hurts.
Brutal.
That's brutal. That's brutal. Furthermore, along the lines of what you're saying, it's also just, it's not that fun. It's not that fun.
I'm telling you, it's not that fun. It's not like a cool thing to do.
It's not cool. Sounds cool. Not that cool. Sean Frank, CEO of Ridge, had this to say. Counterpoint: running a warehouse is not thrilling or seductive.
Yeah, it's not.
I do think Bill has a point. There is something seductive about, like, oh, look at this giant warehouse with all our stuff, and I can walk people around and they can be impressed. Like, there is something seductive about that, but running it, not so much. Sean says it sucks, and you should try not to do it unless you have to. And Metab, who they own 1,000 different companies or something, says save a bit of money over at Carta Ventures. Save a bit of money, but end up spending all of your time running a warehouse instead of growing your business. Most e-commerce businesses should use a 3PL. Now, tell me this, Colin. I am convinced that in the mind of the brand operator, brand marketer, brand founder, there is a kind of underlying basic question in one's mind that I think this thought for 3PL arises for, like, I should build my own warehouse. There is this like underlying thought or suspicion. Everybody's trying to take my money. They're trying to get my money. They're trying to give me a bad deal. The partners out there are bad. I have felt this. I have felt this. Confessedly, I confess. Do you think that this is real, and it leads to some of this, like, we should just do it ourselves and in-house? Do you think there's something to this?
I understand the feeling of it, but it's just up to the founder to audit their 3PL quarterly on how it racks up to everybody else's performance in the 3PL space. Even though you have a 3PL, or you might be happy with your 3PL, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be having conversations with 3 to 4 other 3PLs currently all the time and seeing how you rank among everything else. And if those numbers kind of stretch too much away from what you're currently doing and what another 3PL is offering, it's something to consider.
I have had a nightmare situation with 3PL
Yeah.
before that I shall not mention or name. We don't want to name and shame, but I get it. I get it. But this is why I was like so happy to meet Matt and get to know other players in our space. It turns out there's a ton of 3PLs all over the
Yeah.
place. It's kind of like B2B world, sometimes manufacturing, like working business, it's just hard to find people. It's hard to find people,
Yeah.
which I think is so smart of Matt, why they focus and invest in video content. But you need to get to know. You need to get to know the people that are out there and the options that you have. I think this is a great point. Be talking to some others, audit quarterly, monthly, etc. That way you can know what's happening and what's not. And is there a better fit for me eventually? Although moving 3PL is not so easy.
Brutal.
That's why we need
Brutal.
people probably like our friend Joe over at fulfill.com or just others in the space that can help you find a 3PL when you need one. We have got CEO of Seguno, Chris Geiss, coming into the show right now. But before he does, we should have an ad read. And we should talk about Seguno. Ladies and gentlemen, Seguno is the only marketing suite that lives entirely inside of Shopify. What does that mean? It means your email and your reviews and your banners. It all lives right there where you work and play every day. Why is that important? It means that your Shopify data and your email data are one, okay? No more having to trust in the complex big email providers that are selling you over attribution, et cetera, et cetera. Seguno was built for lean teams with big aspirations, and all of this technology that they have made available, one-click automations, actual humans that can help you inside of Shopify. Big reason why they won the 2024 Shopify Build App of the Year. The advanced Shopify segmentation playbook is available at the URL below. Go get it. Talk to them today. They got you can free trial that platform. If you tell them Colin I sent you, they may extend that baby to 30 days. Many thanks for Seguno being part of the show. And now we need to help and introduce the lead dog of Seguno, CEO Chris Geiss, who is just here in Austin, just here for Commerce Roundtable. He is back to talk about Meta Fields and what they are doing with Seguno inside of Shopify, enabling us with AI to take things up and to the right forever and ever after. Chris Geiss, Seguno CEO, get inside here.
No.
Yeah, there you are, brother.
Hello, fellas.
Welcome back.
See.
Long time no see. You made it back to North Carolina safe, I trust.
Yes. As did you, Colin. Good to see.
Yeah.
I did. Chris, since I'm having I think we're having a little video problem here. Is that the case, Colin?
Just a little delay right now.
Just a little delay. If it delays a little more, we may bring you back in. Oh, here it is.
Hold on.
Since we were last together, Chris,
Let's go.
I found this little mini fig, this little Lego buddy that was in a box that you sent me. And he's got a cowboy hat, and he's even got a number 71 jersey on him, which if one knows,
got your name on the back.
If one knows Chris Hall lore, then one knows that I used to wear number 71 when I played football at the University of Texas. I have to say, this is probably like the best thing that anyone has ever sent me. I mean, next to those Western shirts with the unicorn Seguno logo stitched into them, you're the man, Chris. You're the man.
And the backdrop there, it's like stained glass, like a church for the ministry angle. Yeah,
exactly. Steeped in lore. We appreciate you and all the things that you have sent us. We appreciate you coming back here. Now, Chris, tell us, man, what is going on? What's going on with you guys and Meta Fields and what you're doing on Shopify? I admit I often use Meta Fields as little as possible. I don't use them that much. And I know heavy SKUs, tons of numbers. Like there's a capacity to enable myself to do more, organize more, probably use more and read data more. But I don't deal with them that often. Man, give us perspective on what you guys are doing over there with MetaFields enabling inside of Shopify.
Yeah, sure. So that's kind of like the solution, right? The problem is the fact that your data has a landlord and it's not your business. It's your
Yeah.
marketing platform, right?
Mm.
And so you're storing all of this customer data, and you're really mostly just using it to improve your marketing when you could be using it to improve every other aspect of your business. And so you can actually use Shopify MetaFields to store all that same data and more, and so it up levels every aspect of Shopify. So you can really store metafields on almost any type of object in Shopify, but we're talking a little bit more on the customer data side today. Um, but metafields are essentially just a way to store extra structured data related to these objects in Shopify, whether it's customers, products, orders, uh, um, all the things really. So it's about storing your data inside of Shopify. And I can tell you all the different types of things in Shopify that kind of like go to the next level when you have this data there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I would want to touch on some of that, the ROI that's happening that you're seeing inside of Shopify when you get all of this aligned.
Yeah, right. The benefits of it, touch every aspect of Shopify. So you can use metafields in segmentation. You can use metafields for triggering, as well as conditional logic inside of Shopify flows. You can use them for personalization on your storefront. You can use it for, targeting things with segments for discounts or whatnot. You can use it for filtering your reports and analytics inside of Shopify. You can use it within Sidekick. Sidekick can then reference that data as it's thinking about insights for your business. You can ask it questions that cross-reference Metafield data versus other data, and then when you start thinking about the other side of AI, where Shopify is bringing your data out to these AI surfaces, and you want that contextual data inside of Shopify so it can make smarter choices for you. Right now it's mostly like an agent, right, potentially going to surface a product that someone can look at and purchase. But when you start thinking more about those shoppers getting like personalized offers and things like that, you want Shopify to have that data.
Wow.
Makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot.
I never thought about that. So this crosses over then, or enables, better facilitates customized, personalized, agentic shopping in other places as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely where it's going. Shopify is all in on AI, to say the least, and so you want to centralize that data inside of the core of your business, which is Shopify.
And so this then makes sense. This then makes sense to me why it's so crucial that you guys made the bet many years ago. Like, hey, we're going to build our marketing suite entirely inside of Shopify. This is where everyone's data needs to live. Shopify is the future. Shopify is the now. Like, we need to build here so that what's coming down the line, we can enable second and third order of effects, whereas everybody else is having to import, try to connect, sync together, enable here and there. Seguno's right, already living inside the machine. And now you can do more. You can do more with analytics, reporting, personalized offers, segmentations, etc. With with these metafields that enables a whole lot more activity, growth, measurement, etc. Am I reading this right? This starting to really make sense to me.
100%. Yeah. I mean, years ago, so metafields have existed for a long time, but they were only accessible via the API for a very long time. So it's only like within the last I don't know, a couple of years where Shopify made it a first class citizen, if you will, where it's accessible in the UI. Someone can easily create and leverage these things. And, you can add it to pin to a customer profile, so you can see more of that data as you're looking at a customer. Then you can leverage it in your segments and everything else that I mentioned. A lot of that stuff is newer advancements of Shopify, where they're really enabling merchants to take advantage of this data. The way that you can filter in analytics now, it's turning Shopify into like a BI tool, and then you layer on Sidekick and everything else and the intelligence there and where that's going. And you don't want to miss out. You don't want your data siloed in some other platform. You want it in the heart of your business.
So say I'm a brand and I am totally new to everything, meta fields. How am I going from 0 to 100? And then how long is that going to take me to implement?
Shoot me an email. I will help you do that.
Let's go. Great answer.
Let's go. Shoot an email to Chris. Chris at Seguno.com, baby.
Yeah. I'll have a conversation with you. We could look at kind of where your data is, how it's structured, and we can help you import it into Shopify and get you up and running.
Nice. That's amazing.
It totally makes sense for me on the segmentation side, like, for increasingly personalized emails, offers, etc. This person bought that, tagged. These SKUs have been in their cart, tagged. It totally makes sense for me on that side. I'm interested, Chris, on the reporting side. On the reporting side, I mean, there's got to be like some truly unique capabilities, measurements, things that you've seen that your customers are doing, or other things. There's got to be like truly enriched reporting with Shopify Sidekick and how you guys are living inside of that whole ecosystem. There's got to be like next level reporting there. Anything that you can describe on that end?
Well, like I said, it's kind of turning Shopify into a BI tool, and so you've got all of that sort of data that Shopify naturally captures, like the purchase history and stuff that you were describing. But then you can start layering in the data that you're either pulling in from another app that's storing data in meta fields, or data that you're asking the customer to provide to you, right? Like shopping preferences, for example. Let's say someone, you're shopping and you get a pop-up that asks if you're shopping for yourself or for someone else. And I forget the product we were talking about at Commerce Roundtable there. But something about? It was something where there was, more like the wife is often buying for their husband. I forget what company that was we were chatting about. But
I remember this conversation, and I can't remember the product either. I can't remember. Well, I remember us talking. What was it?
What was bath bombs.
Bath bombs?
It wasn't bath bombs, but I wish my mind bought some for me. So
brother,
I like bath bombs.
Hey, Jack, we need to strike out the last 15 seconds. I don't want the internet knowing that Colin likes to take baths. Okay, I think we need to strike that.
That's a wonderful thing, Colin. You do you.
Thank you. Thank you. Jeez, Chris is judgmental over here.
Take that simple example of people that are coming and shopping for themselves versus shopping for someone else, and then start looking at your data from those two different perspectives, right? What's the AOV of someone who's buying for a gift compared to those that are shopping for themselves? And then, or LTV, all the different types of things that you can start digging into. How many of them subscribe to our newsletters, all that sort of stuff. So you can basically any piece of data or report that you have in Shopify, you can then start filtering it by these meta fields. So whether that's loyalty tier or data that you're capturing from the user, then you just start slicing and dicing and get those insights to then personalize the next steps, or how to improve AOV, or get the right offer in front of the right people.
How does this
go ahead, Colin? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, how does this play out 6-12 months from now? Does this turn into Shopify becoming a full-fledged BI tool where it is, they have all of the functionality of a Tableau, a Looker, a Power BI, all of the nerdy stuff, and they basically become that beast in house. Do you think that's where this is going?
The way Shopify builds is they build for the 80%, right?
Yeah.
And so they'll never necessarily be as complete of a BI tool as some of those power players,
Right.
but 80% of Shopify merchants don't need that. And so
Yeah.
Shopify can build what can, take you from your first sale to being a $50 million brand, and not necessarily need to keep expanding your tech stack because Shopify's layering in all these different aspects. So yeah, I don't see it necessarily as like replacing some of the big tools for the big players, but
Yeah.
it enables smaller players, mid-sized players to really go farther on their own. Those lean teams with big dreams, right?
That's it.
Let's
That's it.
go.
I mean,
Let's go.
that's like the promise of e-commerce. I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like the kind of underlying foundation of everything that we do is that Shopify, arming the rebels, selling stuff on the internet, freedom. I can get released from, whatever 9 to 5, maybe I don't want to work in, or for, whatever life I want to live. It's
Yeah.
like selling things, selling widgets on the internet can get me there. Chris, the more that I talk to you and the more that we get to know you and the more like Shopify just continues to dominate, the more Canva continues to develop, the wiser that I think the play that you made years ago to like deeply just invest and integrate and like, build
Yeah.
inside of these two systems has become, like when we were at Commerce Roundtable, you cited this and it has totally been verified the case. I think as far as like AI tools are concerned, it's like number 2 or number 3 is Canva. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like crazy. It's crazy. And
It's so good.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's so
Uh,
good.
It's like whatever
And
image you generated, you bring it in here. Canva can make all those pieces editable. And man, brother, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how you knew to like invest so deeply with Shopify and Canva.
He's got the ball. He's got the ball that he.
I wish.
The ball.
It's I don't know, necessarily what led us to that, but a lot of experience looking at older platforms and kind of how things played out. But ultimately, I think we're really excellent at threading the needle and like integrating into things and making the most out of them. And so I'm not as interested in trying to compete or to build something where you have to stay inside of my platform kind of thing. I'm more about the 1 + 1 = 3, and when you can, it was clear that Shopify was the future to me, and so we just decided to do the 1 + 1 = 3 thing instead of trying to
Smart.
build our own platform and all that jazz.
Smart.
But like I said, a while back, we don't even store that data in Seguno. Like we are actually using your Shopify data to insert into personalize your emails, to
Yeah.
leverage your segmentation for targeting, and your product data. Everything is just pulled at the time when it's needed, and so we don't have this extra copy that we're trying to kind of silo everything in our place, or have to worry about if it's up to date or any of that stuff.
Smart, man.
You made those 2 massive bets of Shopify and Canva a little bit ago. Do you have something right now where you're saying, maybe you're not directly integrating with them, but kind of looking at them from the sideline and you're saying, those are going to be the companies of the future? That's how I would bet this out in the next 5 years. Do you have any you're kind of floating around with a thesis right now?
Not financial advice, not that we need to go invest tomorrow, But Chris, you do got a pretty good track record here.
Yeah, we just want to follow the track record.
Well, Canva's not public yet, but they're headed that way. So again, not financial advice, but I would I likely personally plan to invest. But I think there's been different points probably along the way where you can see the difference between the old guard and the new guard, and
Yeah.
where things are going. More recently, obviously the AI side of things has shuffled the industries a bit,
Yeah.
and that's I think the bet of the future. And Shopify and Canva are 100% all in, focused on it, and becoming the foundational layers of their respective areas, commerce and design, and across AI more broadly. And so I think that's a pretty safe bet, so to speak, as to the future here for those two.
Well, I think it is too. And obviously, Seguno wouldn't be in the situation that it is if you hadn't made those bets. And so you're a smart man, Chris. Chris, I have heard that you're doing a little traveling here pretty soon, getting on the road again. Is that correct?
I think the next one's July, so I got a little bit of
Okay.
time.
Okay, you got
But
a
yeah,
little bit of time.
next up is Toronto for the big Shopify conference. So
Yeah.
Oh,
excited for
wow.
that.
Wow. Good
But
on you.
we've
Well,
got I'm hoping we can get our good friends at Shopify over here on the podcast soon. So
Let's
that
go.
would be wonderful.
and maybe even a friend from Canva. So I'd love to
Oh,
bring them to the show here to talk to your wonderful audience.
they should.
Let's
They
do it.
totally should be, and we appreciate you for all that you do, my friend, on behalf of the community and being a partner of the show. We love you, brother. We appreciate you for coming. We look forward to having you back, man. Thanks for joining us today.
What's that? Oh,
What happened?
all the Metafield functionality in Seguno just went live.
Oh, there we go. Nice. Let's
You heard
go.
it here first. So
Let's
you can now
go.
personalize all your emails with your Metafield data.
Wow.
You can capture
Let's
more of
go.
your data on the pop-ups front and start leveraging that to up-level your whole business. So it's now
Let's
live in
go.
Seguno. Shoot me an
Debuted
email,
on the
Chris at
show.
Seguno, if you want help taking back control of your data and using it to power your business.
Let's go.
Chris,
Thanks, guys.
you've always got like a custom ending, man. You've always got like a custom outro. Every
It's
time
usually
that
made
we
up on
have
the
you
spot
here.
too, but yeah.
No, stop it.
Go.
You didn't plan that. You just made that up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, thanks, guys. So good to see you.
And now he's
you guys
leaving
have-
us.
Again.
Now he's
Dude,
leaving us. Now he's leaving us. So all the Metafield inclusion, Seguno, everything's live now. Pop-ups, emails, etc. With Shopify, that's all available to everyone, and they should go email you and talk to you.
100%.
100%. I think you are the first. I think you are the first guest of ours to get clapped out 3 times, and you deserve it. Thank you for joining us, Chris.
Thank you,
See
guys.
you again, brother.
Talk to you soon.
Chris.
With the debut on the show.
Debut on the show. Breaking
Love
news.
to see that. Love
breaking
to see
news. We love to have breaking news on the show.
Absolutely.
And what I will say is that the dynamic duo that we have coming in here right now, they are doing breaking news type things on the timeline. Big creative swings. I don't know anybody else in B2B who is doing it like they are.
Oh.
Is that fair, Colin?
Super fair. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I feel like I want to ask him about this. I feel like there is always a challenge to surprise and delight inside of the B2B space, to entertain and educate at the same time, which is it's the endeavor that we are involved here on the show. Edutainment, as one might call it. And for those who are not aware, everybody needs to go and check out Skeptics, the new series that Postscript has released. Okay, it is an Ecomm sitcom. Okay, it is an Ecomm sitcom, the first of its kind, which I think guarantees it a winner of an Emmy. It's the only one in its category.
Chris, are you in it?
I am in it. I am in it.
You're in it?
I am.
You're
I am in it. I don't know if there'll be any kind of, supporting actor award,
Are you
that
submitting it? You submitting it to BAFTA?
I mean, as long as there's not like a hefty fee involved with it,
Yeah.
I will happily submit
Let's
it
go.
and
Let's
submit
go.
myself too. I'll do that.
Should.
Somebody's got to submit it. I'm willing.
Exactly.
I'm willing to do it on behalf of Postscript's, Postscript's behalf and mine.
That's fair.
Somebody's got to submit it. But these are the dynamic duo, the creator, the brains behind said series, and we need to bring them into the show. But before they come, we need to talk about one of our beloved sponsors. And who am I talking about? I am talking about Postscript. That's who I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, is focus not an amazing thing? It is. When one focuses, you get outsized results. And that's what happens with Postscript, and why when people make the switch from whatever provider they're working with now to Postscript for SMS marketing, on average, they see a plus 22% increase in SMS revenue. Now, I did not get that much money. I got a whole lot more. We went from making very little money on SMS to being a top 1% on the entire platform inside of a year. And the secret, I'll give you the secret. I just did what they said, okay? And what they are saying is that there's a ton of money being left on the table when your customers text you back and you leave them on red. Or even worse, you just have an auto responder. Go to the conversational report, direct-to-consumer.co/the conversational report. You're going to get all that juicy data on what is available to you if you can have one-to-one conversations with all of your customers who text you back. Surprise here, you can't. But Postscript's AI shopper can brand voice, brand knowledge, all of your products, etc., available to have one-to-one conversations 24/7 or within legal texting hours to all of your customers at once. Go get the conversation report, talk to Postscript, tell them that we sent you. Many thanks for them being part of the show. Now, we need to bring Laura Serino and Ryan Holmes, the two creators and big brains behind the Skeptics series that is now hailing and bringing AI Shopper to the D2C world. We need Laura and Ryan inside of this show. Get inside of here. Laura and Ryan.
Let's go.
There we go. Get in here.
Go. Wow.
Wow. That was the greatest intro of my life.
There you go.
Right there.
We endeavor to surprise and delight here on the show, Laura. That's what we endeavor to do. And
yeah, I want to say real quick, all
please.
The high praise, all the compliments, we really appreciate that. But can we get some love for that ad read? I mean, that's one of the best ad reads I've ever heard in my life.
Let's go.
That was
We do
incredible.
them every day. Chris does them
every
every
day.
single day.
Every day.
You
single
should
day
get a
live.
BAFTA for that, Chris, just for your ad.
Let's go.
I
agree.
We throw it down for our
Yeah.
partners because
We
our
do.
partners throw it down for us, and this would not exist. This would, and I'll say this. One of the things that we open the show with every single day is a firm belief of mine: ads are not bad. Ads are good. We all live because of ads. We wouldn't have lives because of ads. So when it's ad read time, it's go time, baby, and we throw it down. We throw it down.
Absolutely.
For our partners. Now, Ryan, Laura, you guys, you've done an incredible job. I'm so pumped about this series, and not just because my handsome face appeared in it, but you guys, Ryan, Senior Creative Director, Laura, Director of Content, Community, and Brand at Postscript. You guys got to give us background. How did this come to be? What did this process look like? Because I'll just say, I know there's a ton of teams and a ton of creatives and a ton of brand, there's a ton of brand people inside of our space who would love to do exactly what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And they can't and they don't. Give us the origin story of how this whole thing came to be.
I think I said to Ryan, we should do a TV show.
Yeah.
And Ryan is, just to back up a little, Ryan and I have been kind of creative counterparts for almost 5 years at Postscript.
Seriously.
So for in B2B SaaS, to have worked together that long together, is really special, is certainly been like a career highlight for me. And the idea behind Skeptics in general was kind of like we were trying to capture a moment in time for e-commerce right now, which is that AI has completely changed everything. I mean, forget like e-commerce in the world in recent months. And we were trying to kind of define what the different AI personalities of e-commerce are right now.
Yeah.
So it was like, the Averys who are like the enthusiasts, that they're like hyped on AI. They're ready to like adopt everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's like our character Joey, who's kind of like, I know this is important, but how do I even begin to incorporate AI into my everyday?
Exactly.
And then there's the like Julians of the world who are maybe they're old school marketers and they're like, no, not interested. Or they're just like, I don't know, they're skeptics. They're true skeptics. They're like, I don't understand. I don't see the value in it. And so we wanted to we wanted to capture that in a way that was funny, because I think a lot of the AI conversations when you're in e-commerce right now are often fraught with like a little bit of like, I'm nervous about it. I don't know how to use it. Is it gonna replace this or that? And so we knew it was going to be a topic that would hit with our audience. And we also wanted to create something that we wanted to selfishly watch on LinkedIn. That would be something that we would see and be like, oh, that's funny. We like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with that. I mean, like life's too short, like not to do something interesting, right? I mean, it's something that
if you think
people
about,
actually like watching.
If you guys think about, Postscript, our customers are some of the biggest and best brands in the world with a very distinct brand voice. And the people who use Postscript, they're marketers. They're sharp. So we want to show up in the market like one of our customers. We want to be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with some of the best brands in the world. And everybody, B2B is boring. And we don't want to be that. We wanted to create something that would be entertaining. There's also a really brilliant kind of hook in here that I'll let Laura talk about in a sec here, but to really show off what Shopper does. But, when Laura came to me last, I think it was right after Black Friday, actually, she's like, we should make a TV show. And my mind immediately went to B2B doesn't really do that. So we have to do this.
Yeah.
And that's like what we do. I think and that's a testament to the leadership here at Postscript. There is an appetite for disruption. So if you look at the bodega booth at Shop Talk, Skeptics,
Flex,
the stuff we got cooking coming soon, this is what we do. And we want to make noise, have some fun. And Dan Glazer, our chief sales officer at Postscript, said something that stuck with me. Here internally, we don't take ourselves too seriously, but our competitors should take us very seriously. So that's kind of like that's kind of the sauce that we bring to
absolute
to
bar
Ecomm.
dropping on the show. That was just an absolute bar dropped on the show. That's so fire. You got to talk to us about approaching, a Mike or an Alex with an idea like this. When I was at Triple Whale, we would have to approach Rabba and basically be like, hey, I got this idea. It's a bit of a moonshot. And then Rob would be like, take a seat. Let's take a seat in my office. Pitch me this. And then he'd be like, I hate this. Get out. Or I love this. Or he'd be like, work on it more. You're in like phase 2 of this. I need it to be like phase 4. So talk to me through it, like pitching Mike on this, where he's like, hey, let's talk this out.
Oh my God. Have you met Mike before?
Of course. Yeah.
Is down for any wild idea, which is
let's go, Mike.
Is why working at Postscript is so much fun, because there is very little fear of like, hey, we want to take a big swing and we don't actually know if this is going to hit. But we think it will. And I think like our team too, we've been at the company for a while. We've helped build the brand. I think we have like a little bit of trust established at this point too. Yeah. So it's kind of like, not everything we do is a slam dunk, but a lot of it is. And so I think it was more of like Mike being like, I trust you. I mean, there were even some points in this whole process, Chris, where we were like, oh, do you want to see like a script or a sneak peek or a trailer? He was like, nah.
Whoa. I love that. Wow.
Oh, we're just really lucky, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
Leadership is starving for this type of stuff. And like I said, our customers are super sharp, and we just want to show them, it's kind of a love letter to them in a sense, you know, like we want to show them that we get it, you know, and especially going the route with humor. Nobody remembers the sappy Super Bowl ad. It's the funny one. Comedy is just kind of like the thing that we can all kind of relate to. And I think, again, we don't take ourselves too seriously. Episode 4, the finale, has some absolute heaters in it. So stay tuned for that. But can't thank you enough for popping in for episode 3. I think the cameos really make this kind of like a community thing and not just like a Postscript thing. So when we teased that early on internally, people are like, wait a minute, this is like much bigger of an idea than we initially thought.
Well, and we can't forget the Sean Frank prayer candle. You know, we can't forget this.
Of course,
Sean Frank, saint of e-commerce.
That's huge. As you would, I have mine back here that I just keep, and
that scene wrote itself.
The patron saint of e-commerce, Sean Frank.
Yeah.
Okay, so a few things here, and then I want to get into the mechanics of actually experiencing AI Shopper, getting the message out, allowing people to experience it, because I think that you guys have done this in a delightful, interactive way that allows people to kind of get inside the belly of the beast, so to speak, and actually experience the thing. A few things before we get there. Number one, the bodega at Shop Talk, flex. Absolute flex. Okay. Absolute flex. Let's go, Ryan.
Let's go.
Shout out Angel Kennard at Postscript, the queen of events.
Way to go, Angel.
Legend.
Number two, this series also flex. And I think it positions you guys, I think it gives window into where Postscript actually is in the market. You know, a lot of people still like remember days of yore, Postscript coming out of YC, and you know, it's like the underdog champ that we all know and love. And you know that I know that kind of spirit of humility is still very alive and well inside of the company. But I'll just say, as a third party here, Postscript is crushing and literally working with the biggest brands and companies on the interwebs. And just these two things, the existence of this series shows that. Okay, there's a reason why nobody else is doing this. The fact that Postscript is flex. Okay, but number two, walk me into the experience of this thing. I feel like, of course, you got comedians involved in it. Incredible. You didn't just bring in the funniest people from The Office to be involved. You actually went and got real comedians to be in the series. But number two, the QR code, bringing people in, allowing people to talk to Julian and like experience AI Shopper in a real way. I think it gets rid of some of the skepticism of like, oh, well, you know, your AI tool, oh, it could never talk authentically like my brand, you know. Oh, my products are so special, you know. There's like no way that walk me into like the actual demo of this thing that, you know, the experience brings you to.
Yeah, this whole process was like beyond the TV show. We wanted to create kind of a universe of this fake soda brand, fizzy soda. I mean, Ryan and I even stood up like a Shopify store, just like our customers would. And we filled out our own brand center. We filled out our own shopper. We did it just the way our customers do it. And when I was writing Julian's character, I had kind of in my mind, like, if you're an e-commerce brand watching this show and you have one of these founders that is like a personality, like is maybe outlandish, or maybe just like is just like very thoughtful and just someone that you know your customers would want to hear from, how do you capture that? And our like Shopper, our AI is using a brand voice to operate. And so I was like, if we can create this very specific brand voice for the series and then create the demo so that if people watch the series and they opt in and they want to chat with Fizzy Soda's founder, Julian, they can do it. And if they've watched the series, they'll actually recognize the voice and actually feel like they're yapping with Julian over text. And it has worked. We had someone opt in, and I'll have to send it to you. because they said something like, "Hey, can you write me a poem about your sodas?" Yes, it was the most insane response that shopper sent back. Like literally using the fake sodas we came up with on our Shopify account. It was an actual poem. It was like the character Julian was texting back. I mean, it was really, even I was like, wow, okay, this is really even better than we're selling it as. This is real good.
That's
so
wild.
It was about building that whole experience so that like every touch point we could have like a true journey with the brand. Also with the hope that like maybe this is, something we continue to do. We continue to build on like this fizzy brand, this personality and having fun and hopefully a season 2, of being able to do this and just kind of like a more fun way to let people experience a product versus just like a demo walkthrough, And so that was kind of the whole thought process behind it.
I just thought that was so genius on Laura's part because there's a lot of skepticism around AI to be able to deliver a message to a customer on behalf of an e-commerce brand that stays on brand, that doesn't hallucinate or go crazy and say weird stuff. And Laura writing that such a specific voice for Julian, who's totally out there, has his own vocabulary and just kind of his very specific tone to nail that and to show that we could do that through Shopper inside of Postscript is like the perfect through line. And when it first started, we're just like, oh, we're making this cool, funny TV show. And then it was like aha moment of like, oh my goodness, this is the perfect way to show it in an entertaining way and not just be another webinar slide deck, boring delivery of this information. So cheers.
It's such a good idea. It's such a good idea.
Thank you, Chris.
It made me think. That maybe we need to get like some kind of hotline, text in hotline for the show, and we need to imbue Colin and myself in there, and maybe we get people's questions for guests when they come on and such. But I think this speaks to the power of what you guys have developed with the AI shopper and it is such a natural extension for e-commerce and AI and its ever-growing capabilities is enabling one-to-one conversations with people when they text you. It is such a natural extension of AI's power for actual profit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I love that you guys are really pioneering this and enabling it for customers. It feels like such a very natural, tactile value add in our ever-changing world with e-commerce and AI. I think it's such a very natural extension.
Well said. I also hope we can like actually make a soda at some point. Like I want to make fizzy.
Yes.
Yeah, no. Like I want to get into D2C beverage now. That's what I
mean, I think you guys could even just go a step further and just partner with one of your existing soda brands and just rock and roll and just do a Postscript flavor. Like, let's just have a Postscript flavor.
Needs to be. Posties
vibes.
Posties 1.0, Posties 2.0, cherry Posties, but
cherry Posties. That's awesome. What could you guys? I mean, one of the things I really loved about this was it cut through the timeline of all of the typical LinkedIn stuff that you would have. And you can see this from the performance of the posts from everybody who posted about it. Do you guys have any other moonshots that you're cooking up back there that maybe you could sprinkle on us where you're like, this is what we're thinking about. Maybe this is going to be our next at bat that we're trying to think about. Anything you can kind of sprinkle on us. It's all good if you can't. I do want to see season 2. I'm already hooked. I'm hooked on this thing. I already want to see episode 4, but I have to wait for that. It's fine.
Our lawyer's standing right outside my door here. We have an absolute whopper in the chamber right now.
Wow.
We cannot say anything, but I promise you it is seismic. And we're going to be developing all kinds of new fun stuff to launch that. But that's all I can say.
And we've got, what a tease. We've got meetings with HBO and Netflix now. So
exactly.
We're busy.
Yeah, we're busy. I love that. Well, we await the drop of season 2. We await the drop of episode 4 with bated
Let's go.
breath. And anybody who has not gone and seen episode 3 needs to happen right now. I think what we'll do is we'll just, whenever we clip this interview, we'll quote tweet, we'll send everybody to go and watch episode 3. There is a very, very extremely, I don't know where they found this guy, but good looking cowboy who just, pops in and, anyway, good one on that. And we look forward to more, and you guys are crushing, and we love having you part of the show. And let me say this, Ryan, whatever whopper is in the chamber and is coming forth, we're happy to come and live stream and a little tease. We're happy to do that.
I'm sensing an exclusive, perhaps.
Whoa! Yeah, baby. We're talking.
Real quick before we go, just wanted to ask you both: who is on your Mount Rushmore of B2B SaaS TV shows made specifically for LinkedIn?
Oh gosh. On mine is YouTube for sure.
It'd be you.
I don't know who else belongs there. What do you got, Colin?
Perfect. Yeah, no, it's a very specific category.
That's the answer. That's the right answer.
That's the right answer.
I think it's just you guys.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, it's just you guys right now.
I think the only other person that I can even think of who has created like dynamic content that people want to watch is like Adam Robinson from years ago. He like first did the documenting his journey and everything. Well, now we've got the original, the first mockumentary, the Ecomm sitcom with Fizzy Soda, and so there's a new champ. There's a new champ in town.
This is the Mount Rushmore. It's the four of us, the edutainment.
Let's go. We'll take that. Well, we're in good company. Ryan, Laura, we appreciate you guys joining us. We're looking forward to episode 4 coming soon, and that whopper you guys have in the chamber. Keep creating interesting things and innovating in our space. We appreciate you guys. Look forward to having you back.
Thank you both so much.
Thanks, team. Check out Skeptics. Hit the QR code. Chat with Julian.
Absolutely. Go chat with Julian. Get a poem from Julian. Thanks, guys. Wow. Truly. I got a poem. Somebody's asking, give me a poem. Give me a Julian poem. I think this shows off the dynamism of like what's actually going on with that tool and how, it can brand appropriately, brand voice appropriately, brand product knowledge appropriately, actually help surprise and delight and get sales across the line. This is like such a natural fit, I think, when it comes to AI's power and actually driving profit, for your pocket. I think it's such a natural extension.
There's a thing we did not touch on at all that I think should be brought up a little bit is the fact that this was a huge trust for Mike to basically trust his team to pull this off. And I think people should pay attention to how the executive team at Postscript is operating, because if they're empowering everyone from all the way up and down the funnel to operate at this level and they're trusting their team, you kind of have to understand the operators that are going to be inside of Postscript, where they're turning into and already are a cracked team. Yeah. So they're here to stay, folks. They're a behemoth at this point.
That's what I think that most people don't know is I think because Postscript is humble, but crushing, and they have this continually getting better mindset. I think people don't know how huge and awesome they are, which that's why, Colin, at the end of this series, what I want to do is I want to release the footage that we got when we got exclusive access to their all hands. Everybody was here in Austin, and I'll say I've known the founders. I've known Alex Beller. When I was brand side, even when I was agency side. I mean, we used Postscript for years, and so I've known them for a long time. I was shocked. I was shocked at how many people, how many brands. I was shocked at the trajectory and where things are going for them. And I think that people should know. And this series is, I think it's a great example of that. There's a reason why nobody else is doing creative swings like this. And on your point, it is a great example of like allowing your people to do their thing and do it
100%.
well.
100%.
Not kibosh it, not micromanage it, not, choke it away. It's a great example of just, Mike's just saying, yeah, go for it. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see a script. Make it awesome. Go hire some real comedians. Great. I think it's a great example of that.
Yeah, it truly is. They're going to keep going on an unbelievable run. And I'm really excited to see what that Whopper is that he was talking about.
I am too.
I know.
We have got Kendall Dickieson coming in here very soon. But before she comes, let's hit a story.
Okay.
And the one that I want to hit here, Jack, is carbonated colostrum. That's the one I want to hit. Okay. I did not know that this existed. Okay. But CPG is always innovating. Always. Okay. This tweet comes to us from It's Andrea of Snack Shot. And carbonated colostrum does exist. Back in 2022, I wrote, this is from Andrea, about how every supplement was getting into RTDs, ready to drinks, from fiber, protein, magnesium, creatine, and now colostrum. There is a colostrum snack launching over the summer. Snackification of supplements is here. Armra, the viral, incredibly productive, successful colostrum brand, now launching a colostrum RTD. What do you think of this, Colin?
Vibes. The GLP-1 economy keeps on rolling, baby. Don't bet against it. Colostrum's main use cases, and I'm reading here, is for improved gut health, boost immunity, and enhance athletic performance. But basically, it's for the gut lining. And so you have a lot of this where you're dealing with folks that are dealing with leaky gut and stuff that is involved with GLP-1s, and you're trying to manage all of that chronic stress. This is incredible. This is going to be a home run. I don't know the actual quality of it. I haven't tried it out. I'd love to try it out, but I don't know the actual viability and quality of the colostrum that's inside of the actual ready-to-drink soda. But I'd be really curious how it tastes.
I have to admit, I know colostrum's hot, and it's it's good, and it's one of the new stuff. I don't even know what it's for. So what you just explained to me is like very helpful. Apparently, people who are on GLP-1s, like this is a great fit. Is that the case?
It's just for gut health and basic like recovery for your gut. So I would see you align directly with that current economy that we're seeing out of GLP-1s and all of the different peptides that are coming out. And so when we had Oren on the show, that was one of the biggest unlocks for something like this, where you're either going to buy the basic thing or you're going to buy the kind of the fun version of the premium. And that's what this is. It's like the premium fun version of a soda where it's got a little extra something in there. It's kind of fun. You're getting some benefits. That's the two economies right now. Is you're either buying the basic thing or you're buying the fun kind of like treat thing.
Very interesting. I'm looking at some of the flavors right now. Spicy lime. Sounds good.
I'll take it.
Pomelo basil. That one's interesting. That one's interesting.
Again.
I mean, it comes, it smacks of what you just described, the like interesting, fun, premium version, of this thing. Third, huckleberry. Okay. Any treat, any snack, if it's huckleberry instead of blueberry or raspberry, that's when you know it's fancy. Okay. You know that it's fancy when the flavor is huckleberry instead of, your average berry, whatever it may be. To me, this like screams hipster, premium, unique, like screams that. And then pear ginger, very fancy. Are you in on pear ginger?
I don't know how I feel about the pear ginger one. I'd have to try that, but I feel good about the other three. I don't know about how I feel about the pear ginger.
Colostrum soda. I will say this. I'm new to CPG. First CPG brand I worked with was, just within the past 12 months. And it is a unique world. And last night, Nate Rosen and our friend Joey here in Austin, best bookkeeper ever, hosted a CPG event down on 6th at a place I cannot remember. But man, you should have seen the turnout. I mean, there was the founder of Yellowbirds was there, Yellowbirds hot sauce. There was a new ice cream brand that very, very in the same line as Natty and Smearcase that we have had on the show. They said, hey, you can't have our competitors on the show and we not be on the show. We got to come on the show. Of Frozen One, Connor talked with Connor and Alan, I believe. Frozen One, great ice cream, by the way. Okay, 40 grams of protein, 370 calories, incredible taste. They're going to come on the show. It seems like, man, there is so much innovation and like continual like tinkering, collaborations, etc., that is like baked into the CPG world. I feel like they lead in e-commerce generally. I feel like they take the lead on innovation, flavors, testing new things, packaging, collaborate. I feel like they like take the lead hands down.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And give me all the protein ice cream. I'll take it all. I'll eat it all right now.
Well, protein ice cream is up and to the right. And I tried Frozen One, and golly, it is delicious. Delicious. I have to say much better than Halo Top. I know you've like bagged on Halo Top. I used to be a Halo Top lover. You bagged on it. I'm like, oh, it tastes great. But then I tried Frozen One. I was like, oh, I see the point. Point. Like I don't know how they baked in all this protein and delicious taste and like actual creamy flavor, but they did. And man, they're everywhere. They're blowing up. So
I love that.
Innovation. Look at the CPG world. I think that apparel. I think that everybody needs to be watching the CPG world because they're leading when it comes to innovation and doing interesting things. Which, of course, our beloved friend of the show, Oren, and I would guess our next guest, Kendall, are big fans of. Now, Kendall Dickieson coming into the show, but before she comes, let's talk about incense, ladies and gentlemen. Incense, isn't it? Don't we all want better ads? Yeah, we do. We all wish we did. And we'd love to have actual humans involved in those ads if possible. That would be nice. But such a disjointed process. Finding good creators, manually negotiating usage rights. It is a headache. That is why Incense exists. It is the all-in-one UGC and influencer marketing platform, vetted creator marketplace, not just you finding people, but them applying to you. Automated influencer outreach, built-in campaign management, get content in as little as 14 days. So much better than just finding a random TikTok and hoping it changes the trajectory of your business. Incense has just created the UGC Playbook 2.0. Go to the URL scrolling across the screen and get that bad boy. You're going to learn why the era of Andromeda is a good thing and what the playbook, the path is forward. It's modular UGC. Go to incense.pro, test drive that platform today. Many thanks for them being part of the show. Now, we have Kendall Dickieson coming into the show, founder of Flexible Creative. She has been the social media mind of all of the CPG darlings that you love. Graza, Emmy, and there's a whole list. There's an entire list. And a brand that she is working with right now is one of your favorite products, big boy. It's a Sandbar. Do you remember the ring that we covered. It's a ring where you talk to it. And I think she is behind this right now.
Let's go. I'll talk to her about it.
We've got to get her in here, get her mind on brand collaborations and all of the things that we all should be doing right now. Welcome, Kendall Dickieson. Get in here. We need you in here.
Let's go.
Kendall, welcome to the show. We appreciate you making the time to join us today.
Thanks for having me. This is my first like Twitter live show. I'm a little nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Don't be nervous. We're hanging out.
Don't be nervous.
Don't be nervous. You guys are rock stars. I love this.
Well, you know, we do our best. We try to dress our best for people like you, Kendall, who come in here. And we did hear that shows that wear suits get acquired. And so, you know, there may be something to that also.
We always wear them.
We always wear them from here on out. Kendall, you have got to give us some of your backstory to and just like fill in the gaps for how you became this like social strategy superstar of conference stage and screen. I have heard, Kendall, that like 9-10 years ago, you were working with restaurants and finding a way to do creative things for them. Now, you know, Emmy, Graza, Sandbar, I think is the and all of the things. How did you get here, Kendall? What's the backstory?
You really did your research. And I'm also in the Sandbar office right now.
Incredible.
So I love that. You even said my jaw dropped when you mentioned that, because I was like, that got me so excited that you like know about it already. So yeah, my Cliff Note version is that 10 years. So it'll be 10 years of like working for myself in this whole game in general. 10 years in August.
Wow.
Dropped out of college junior year. Had spent that time up to that point not like knowing what I wanted to do. Not really. You know, I wanted to be a dietitian. Obviously, I'm not that. And failed anatomy maybe once or twice.
All right.
I definitely am not supposed to be doing this for a living. And at the time, I had started a food account in college called The Flexible Foodie, which is why my Twitter handle is Flexible Foodie. And it was like 2013. So like no niches existed. You were like posting on the internet for fun, didn't care. Accidentally grew a following on this food account early days. That led me down this hole of like, I've always been a wellness like lover. So it was a bunch of like recipes in college, whatever. And I moved back home. I transferred a few times. I moved back home to New York and I got an internship at a publication called Spoon University, which got acquired by Food Network.
Yes.
And I was the Pintern. I didn't even know how to use Pinterest, but you got to you just have to say yes to things and believe that.
Exactly.
So fake it till you make it. Became a Pintern. That turned into doing data and analytics, and they started trusting me enough that I was able to launch a vertical for them on the social and influencer side, not really knowing what I was doing. Restaurants reached out. They were like, "Hey, come in and try our food, whatever." And they were like, "Hey, can you like run our socials?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure."
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, 1000%. So I started doing like influencer events because I was a creator also, obviously at that time too. So I knew what it had to look like, but that's also been my edge. It's like I've been on both sides now. Like I work on the brand side, but I've been on the receiving end. So yeah, I started running social for restaurants throughout New York City for like 3.5 years. Then COVID hit, and then I went to the brand side because a very close friend of mine, who you guys probably know, Mr. Nick Sharma, was like, hey, why are you working with restaurants? You're supposed to be on this side of things. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. Yeah, I was like, I don't know how to do that. So he introduced me to Justin Seidenfeld from Doris Dev, launched Canopy, and that was pretty much like what started me working on the brand side. So it's been like 6 years, and then fast forward, consulted on awesome brands. So like launched, became an investor in Emmy, and then Grazo's introduced to me in 2021, and I started that November, and then we launched in January 2022. That's my baby, as you can. I love everyone, but that's obviously my child.
That is your child.
That's my child. And then I mean, you know, I've worked with so many brands that it's I always blank out sometimes. I'm grateful to say that. it feels like it's been such a long road and so rewarding. And then of course, I was creating so much for clients that I was like, I need to do my own thing. So I started my newsletter called No Filter on Substack, and decided to start posting more on the internet on my side.
Incredible.
Let's go.
Incredible.
Let's go.
We're here.
I love that.
Could you talk to us a little bit about what you're doing at their offices? I mean, it sounds like it's absolutely incredible. I'm super bullish on the company. I think what they're doing is incredible in the space, and it totally is needed. I'm a huge note guy, just to record notes on a ring. Incredible. So could you talk about the thesis and the strategy for scaling them out?
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Sandbar is a private interface company that's in New York, building a product called Stream. Stream is a ring where you're able to capture thoughts and notes all in one spot. So for those that might want to track their health and wear Aura, cool. But if you want to, even though there's all the discourse right now of how your numbers are really affecting your day, which I believe in because I stopped wearing my Whoop, then Stream is for those that want to capture their thoughts and like think about their mental health, from that capacity. So, it's the way of scaling this out. Like that's why I was like a second late, because we were just finishing what creator is going to look like for a company like this. And it's my first consumer tech product. So that's also why. Yeah, it's also been like super humbling and like equally rewarding to learn new things. And that was my one goal this year, was to move laterally into something that I've never done before.
Love it.
And so, scaling it out, like we just brought on a content producer so that we could scale out content output across the social strategy, because there's just so much that has to be done there. But then, this is going to be a lot of like having other people talk about the product for us to show like how easy it is to use, the different like ICPs that we need to, who is it resonating with, right? Like we're still pre-ship. So like you can pre-order, but right now it's like people know we exist, but the goal right now is how do we get the distribution to keep like getting people to pre-order right now. And obviously that's through people who have the following or like are culturally connected in tech, AI, whether they're on X or whether they're on LinkedIn, or they're like doing their own like Claude nights with a group of people. And it's just opened up like this insane, exciting world. So the goal right now is, how can I work with other people to get the message out and scale that?
I love that.
I find so interesting. Kendall, I will say, I think that you've done an incredible job making cool and sexy and interesting, like what should be in my mind, like a boring thing, like olive oil, like that should be like boring, but it's not. But Graza is not. You know what I'm saying? and now you've taken a lateral move, new category, consumer tech, and again, in my mind, I think there's like potential for like a ring that's going to record, and like there's like the potential for it to fall into like, man, how would I make that exciting and interesting? I mean, how are you approaching this? I mean, I would imagine it's part of that same brain that you've already used for making olive oil cool. But is it, with getting other people involved, is it just getting the right people involved? Is it having them do, interesting situations, top of funnel that people can relate to, that works in the product? Like, how do you make this thing exciting and interesting that is like a totally new category for people?
Yeah, I think I've tried to use the same muscle I took with Graza onto this. There's like a certain extent, obviously, where there's like limitation of like, I can't send out like 200 rings. Right. I wish, at least not yet. But like it's been a good reminder, and even Brooke, who is VP of marketing and amazing. I'm like, that's honestly the one thing, like who you work with is like so important. The type of people on the team is so like she's amazing. Her background is phenomenal, and like she has just taught me so much with her first time being in the side too, and like so that's I would not like be standing here without her, so I need to like give her props. And I think like with this, yeah, it is. She pulls me back to remind myself like day 0, Graza days. What did that look like? And that looked like being as scrappy as humanly possible and doing the things that people would say right now are like, well, that doesn't scale. Why would we do that? Was everything I did back then. So it was like showing up to all the events, putting ourselves where we can be seen and like meet the people to introduce them to the product. Like we're having a talk about like, where do we show up in like a lot of these like fancy co-working spaces in New York?
Yeah.
And, you know, so it's like the boots on the ground type stuff. So to me, it's like, it is the relationship building. It is the like intersecting yourself into like the community that's going on around this. And so that's just been like really, really interesting. And then I would say taking from Graza and some of the other brands I've worked on, it is the matter of like reminding ourselves that just because we're in tech, we obviously there's no pressure for us to show up like everyone else is in tech, whether it's like the really long form like X videos and like so much founder content and like all this, all that, only posting like once a month. For us, the most important thing to me is that we're like testing as much as possible. So like, you know, leveraging like all the mediums on a platform correctly. Like we're doing trial reel testing to find our ICP and like what key message is going to start resonating with people. How does that impact strategy on Instagram? It's like, we're a tech company that's going to be posting on Instagram a ton, like 3 to 4 times. Like, you know, so even that stuff, but then recognizing we don't need to spend $35,000 on something that like one other tech company is probably going to spend on one piece of on an asset to last them for 30 days. Like we're like, let's do lo-fi content in the office. Let's like have UGC on the account. So I want to make it feel like a CPG brand by having the diversity of all the buckets.
I love it. I love this. Colin, don't you feel like we're like getting a window like into her mind and playbook like as she's talking here? I think this is so smart.
No, I think this is absolutely genius.
I think myself saying it out loud, I'm like, okay, wait, this is how I'm thinking about it.
This is gas. You're like, yeah, this is sick. This is a really good idea, actually. We should do this.
Yeah.
Could you talk to us a little bit about maybe a brand right now that's not in your portfolio that you are absolutely loving what they're doing on social in 2026?
Yeah. This is always such an interesting question. You know, when people are like, it's almost like back in middle school when you're like at a spelling bee or something, you're like, spell this word. It's like the easiest word ever. And you're like, can't answer that one. Let's see. I would say right now, so off the top of my head, they're not really like they're more of a location, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I love it.
A visa?
It's not a visa. I'm sure everyone on X would love that one. But it's this place called like Village Confectionery. And it's a candy shop that's opening like upstate in New York, and her storytelling is insane, but she's basically like showing how you build this business in real time with like true storytelling. So like I would say that from like a destination personal vibe, like founder led entirely. And I would say like brand I think like Refi Beauty does a really good job. I've always been a fan of it's not one of the newer brands, but it's someone that I feel like they always end up on a mood board. I know I pull them for reference so much, and that would be Merit, the beauty brand. Because they're simple, like their whole thing is that like makeup's supposed to be simple and like, you know, very it's like clean girl vibe. So it's just like everything's simple, everything's easy, but their content says the same, and like they just think very social first, the way they do their campaigns, the way they educate, the way they partner with people. I've always just like been a fan of theirs.
Three great answers.
Three
incredible answers.
It's great answers. And Village Confectionery, I have seen them, and incredible storytelling. I mean, you know, it like brings you in. It's like, yes, you're like cheering for her. Like, yes, like make this thing. How do you do it? You know, there's like a whole like pull to it. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, this girl's living her dream. Like I could do something like this. There's power to that.
Exactly.
Kendall, I'd love to like just have you like melt your brain on everything CPG and all of these things. But one thing I've got to ask you about is how do companies find people like you? because
Great question.
It's a question that literally I probably get once a week, where founders are looking for this like interesting hybrid person who can is adept at storytelling, can be in front of a camera, be behind a camera, like knows what's trending, what's interesting, like how to tell a story, and can also show up in real life and go to an event that's everyone is always looking for you in some different form. Like how do people find you, Kendall? I mean, how does that happen?
Yeah. Well, if we're speaking generally, honestly, some people, the most ways that people find me is because they just search Graza and then social. And then they're like, oh, you're the person who did that. But like, otherwise, like the way to find these people, whether it's me or someone else, like it really is like looking at the brands that you admire and then working your way backwards and low key kind of stalking. Personally,
Interesting.
I think that's the way you have to do it. But then it's also like, at the same time, though, I'm going to caveat it because it's like there's the nuance of the internet is now the internet where everyone can gain views, everyone can have a following, whether it's real or not. And so I think there's also this whole thing of like, if someone's built an audience on Instagram, sick, so they know how to do this job for a brand, but like that's not always the case. And I think
that's a fair point.
That's like one thing, because I've been on the receiving side of that and seen that happen, and it's obviously unfortunate. But then I also think that there's like this, my biggest thing, whether it's me on a project or I'm advising on a company, and they're like, okay, we're going to hire for someone where it's like, you're still going to have input on like the social strategy or influencer strategy, but we just need someone in-house who's like running and executing. That person needs to be like equally brand and performance minded. I think like that's the thing, because if they aren't both, then you're gonna have to hire in for one of them, right? Yeah. And most brands aren't in like the space to be able to do both salaries at that and early on. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing, is find it at its core. It's like brand and performance and like being chronically online. I think now doing it for so long, there's certain projects I work on now where I'm more at the top. I go to some of the events, but I don't go to all the events because I have people now on the teams that can go be at certain ones while I'm at different ones. But yeah, I mean, low key, it's stalking. And
really insightful.
Yeah,
it's very insightful. Actually.
Yeah, you just have to work backwards. It's like the same way that I find like, if I like a piece of creative by a company, like literally someone sent me a reference and they're like, can you find the person who made this thing? And I was like, oh, weird. I'm connected with the girl who leads social on this beauty brand. Let me randomly DM her. I've never met her in my life. We just follow each other. I was like, hey, can you send me the person who did this? She goes, oh yeah, it's this freelancer. She lives in Australia. I'm like, okay, great. And that, you just have to like work your social muscle.
Connect the dots. Yeah.
People just
that's sauce
anymore.
That's sauce for finding like real talent that's buried in some organization that is succeeding. Like, how do I get in there and like that? I like that. I think that's really wise.
You have to be a little like ruthless. I think it's the same thing of like, right, we're seeing all the clipping that's going on and everyone's talking about clipping, and now it's like, I don't know if you saw, but like VaynerMedia, for example, has like 5 people who their main job is just to be a shedditor, which is someone who like shoots and edits content.
Oh, okay. A shedditor. I like that.
Yeah, sorry. Shedditor. Yeah, I think it should be shredditor, but like they're calling it shedditor. And I'm like, shredditor sounds cooler. But yeah, it's like even that, it's like, who are the top people who understand shooting and editing? And I'm like, I want to find those people. So like, I was like, Vayner's doing all of this. Do any of them freelance? Because some of them work on client accounts like Wingstop and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so like, come here.
That is
wow.
You just have to do the work.
I mean, this is like such a like a foundational point, but Colin, I feel like it's so I feel like it's so appropriate, and we need to be reminded. I mean, when Triple was just going to the moon, and then like you want to find out like, okay, well, who's in that organization? Who's on the grounds there, and then it was you, big boy, like you were there. You know what I'm saying? And then people found you. I feel like this is like such a good point. That that brands, founders, operators are looking for like real talent that can help do unique things inside the companies. Yeah, you got to do a little sleuthing, a little stalking.
That a little sleuth, a little stalk, and then it's also like if you're in my shoes and you want to be seen, it's like, right, I totally recognize that. Like, I'm so grateful, girls, that happened, and I know what that did for my own career, but I also was always silent about the work that I did. Until I couldn't be silent about it. And so I like totally recognize that, because like not every client is going to pop like that. Even if it's a successful company, some aren't just going to get the same press level. And so I got really lucky on that. But at the same time, like I knew that had to be my kickstart into like posting on X more and posting on LinkedIn more. And like, the newsletter definitely changed a lot, because now with Substack, it's like, I have recommendation funnels through other people in the social space. So now people who follow Rachel Carton or Leah Haberman, like they're coming to my Substack. And so it's just like, you have to equally do the work. It's the same thing I say to clients on social. It's like, if you want to be on social, you have to be social. Like you can't just say like, no one's engaging with us, because we're just posting. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Good point. Good point.
So it takes two to tango.
I would love to dive a little bit into your Substack. I mean, you posted a little bit earlier and you wrote that 2026 is the year of community over content, is how you kind of worded that. Could you talk a little bit about that and kind of talk through that thesis?
Yeah. So to me, it's a good reminder I have to write a Substack soon.
Let's go.
I'm a little silent on there this year. But I'm almost done with the one. I'm finishing my revamp on a popular one, which is about brands going into retail and how to do social rollout when you're like a brand that can do retail. Anyway, community over content. I think like to me, it's also leveraging this. Well, no, it's two things. Sorry. It's that so many brands are like, we need to create more content, but then in creating more content, they're leaving community off the table. Yeah. Because they're so fixated on putting all the budget towards creating more, but for like their own purposes of like gaining virality or like whatever. Yeah. But then in reality, like they're leaving the things off the table that once again might not be insanely scalable, like community management of and when I say it, it's like the response of DMs and like how are we like inserting ourselves into conversation, because that works two ways. That works in if you commented on my tweet and I answer you, but it's also am I commenting on your stuff because I want to be I want to feel seen somewhere. So right, that's why like so many brands here and there who use this correctly sometimes are like in the comment sections on TikTok on videos that actually make sense for them to be commenting on. Sometimes definitely not. And we see where it's like, okay, you're really just going in on like commenting on literally everything. But that's where community over content to me of like more brands are investing in community managers because they're recognizing that they have to be inserting themselves into conversation. They need to be setting up moments for their own community members to be interacting with the brand, whether that's events or sponsorships for events, or it's like community channels of like using something like TYB or like Geneva or like any of those, or Discord even, right? And figuring out a way to get all these people together. And that's one thing on a brand I worked on called Point of View. It's a beauty company owned by a really popular TikToker. We started a Slack channel because we didn't know, none of us knew how to use Discord. So we were like, let's just, for right now, Slack and stay on. We were like, Slack for right now, will eventually change. And it is going to be changing. I left the project in February, but you know, we have 5,000 people in a Slack channel who, when they see her posts, a new product, they're posting screenshots like, what is this product? Like, oh my God, did you guys see this? Like, if you do it well, everyone's going to be able to like make new friends and then know that like there's just so much more worth investing in, where it's like you could find a safety net to still produce what you need to, but enough to produce a direct response to be able to have your own community be like actually commenting on what you're spending money on producing. Otherwise, like, what's the point?
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah.
That is a great like inversion of how I like only think about social. Like I only think about content, and I basically never even have the thought of community in my head.
Yeah.
And that is a great point. That's a great point.
It's so easy to forget, honestly, too, though, when you're like producing so much in a stream where you're literally like produce, and you're like, wait, that's why when I start on a client, I go back to like since day one, depending how long the brand's been around, but like answer all their old comments, because I want to try and get those people back in, because some people do recognize that like this brand doesn't answer me when I tag them. They don't answer me. Like,
wow. That's some free sauce right there too.
That's free sauce is what that is. Wow. Kendall, I feel like we need to do something in New York or wherever you are. We need to do something, and we need to get you there to do that more. Talk like that more. Because even if it's not documented on the Substack yet, we're down. We're down.
Yeah, we're down.
Kendall, we appreciate you making the time and joining us and dropping all this sauce for everybody. We got to find a way to do more. We appreciate you joining us, and we're going to be following, and we'll cover that next Substack you drop. We're going to cover it here on the show, and we appreciate you for making the time. Look forward to talking.
Now I really make sure I write it. Thank you guys.
She's great.
Wow. That's a one-of-one talent right there.
She is like truly the person that everybody is looking for. Everybody's looking like strategy, creative, community management, and it's like all of that like wrapped up in one person. That's what like every company wants.
Everybody wants that, and I don't think she has the bandwidth for all of those people.
No,
net new people. She's like, I can't. I'm full. I'm already full.
Yeah. There's no way. Yeah. And I think really interesting to watch how she's like. I mean, she's done so well in CPG and food, and she's like, I want to get into new category, consumer tech. It'd be very interesting to watch what's happening with Sandbar and their product stream.
I love the product.
I would think that her approach that is different from tech, purposefully different than what a lot of other tech companies do, I would think that's going to crush. Like everything that she's talking about, I think it's going to crush.
Yeah, it's going to stand out in the timeline for sure compared to everybody else doing the same old thing.
Very interesting. Well, lightning round, maybe a little lingering here though, because we've got some like banger stories here to cover at the end of the show here. Group of three here that I'd like to touch on. Number one, Shopify and Whatnot officially integrated.
Let's go.
It is here.
Go.
Live shopping platform Whatnot taps Shopify to reach millions of merchants as it chases growth. This article comes to us by way of Modern Retail, and I want to read some of this because we put out a tweet on this a couple of nights ago, and I mean this so much. 2023 TikTok Shop, 2026 Whatnot. Okay. Yep. And I know there's still brands today that are like, oh, TikTok Shop, too risky. I can't do it. You're behind. Okay. You're behind. If you're not on TikTok Shop, you are behind. That version of today, the early arbitrage moment, it is Whatnot. And Whatnot has now officially integrated with Shopify. I want to read some of this and get your thoughts on it, Colin. Whatnot, the live streaming shopping app, now integrates directly with Shopify, opening the door for millions of merchants who sell on its platform as it looks to drive growth and wider mainstream adoption of live selling. And what I will say here, just a brief moment, They are pushing Whatnot is they're onboarding sellers. But what most people think is, oh, this is just like an individual person that is reselling. They're doing like some kind of interesting card thing. No. The opportunity for brands is very much there. It is there. Okay. It is there. It is real. I continue to read. Otherwise, they wouldn't be integrated with Shopify. The integration, which launched Wednesday, lets Shopify merchants sync products, inventory, and orders automatically to Whatnot, ensuring listings stay accurate and stock is consistent across both platforms. This is building for brands selling on Whatnot. Previously, Shopify merchants selling on Whatnot had to duplicate their catalogs or manually track inventory across platforms. Product details, pricing, condition, variants, and inventory can be managed within a merchant's Shopify admin while live shows are run through Whatnot. When a customer makes a purchase, the order is sent back to Shopify, where the merchant manages fulfillment. Since it launched in beta at the end of last year, businesses using the integration, around 30, have generated more than 10 million in sales across nearly 20 categories, including pets, fashion, and food. According to Whatnot, the integration is available in the Shopify App Store. Go and get it. Okay, are you on the same page as me? Like, this is built for brands to be able to get on there and crush. And I think 99.9% of people are still asleep on it. Don't even know what it is. This is the Arby's moment. This is the moment of arbitrage, and it's time to get sweaty. Use that Shopify integration and go on Whatnot and crush. Tell me I'm right.
You are right, and I also think there's another opportunity here for a Whatnot agency, and no one's really talking about it. I think this is going to be there's going to be a whole subcategory of brands that just don't want to do this or want to figure out how to do this. Like we had a whole treasure trove of TikTok shop agencies. There's going to be a whole wave of Whatnot agencies that are going to come out of this that are very good at live selling, and they're going to make a lot of money. They're going to make a ton of money. And so if you're thinking, hey, I'm really good on camera, I'm really good at live selling, maybe you should think about spinning up a Whatnot agency, because it's an absolute blue ocean right now. And all signs are pointing to all of the waves working for you, not against you.
Incredible idea from you. Incredible idea.
Let's go.
You should be on an e-commerce show and talk about it every day. This is an incredible idea. And what I will say is the same thing that you just echoed, but I want to add this piece. Kip Rowland came on the show here recently. He is already stepping into this kind of vein, okay, in the sense that he's not just reselling himself. He's not just sourcing and selling it on his live stream. Now he has people hired. He is training them, and then they sell while he is not there. This is a business. It is a business. And agencies that can step into the unknown and execute this on behalf of brands they're going to crush. There's an op here. There's an opportunity. It's entertainment. You're getting a deal. You package it together. You execute it on their behalf. I think there's opportunities to go to literally two brands, places of work, their HQ, and say, hey, look at all this stuff that we've got here. Push it out on email. Make a big deal about it. You can even, there's a paid ads portion on Whatnot now where you can get traffic that way. And there's all these tips that are coming out. It's about the thumbnail. It's about the kind of deals. There's all these mechanics to this now. And I totally agree with you. If it's too much for brands to figure out and execute internally, there needs to be a whole new spawn of agencies that rise up and execute this on behalf of all of the darlings in our space and beyond, because this is a very real opportunity. And live selling is here. It's sweaty. Okay, it takes effort, but it is here. The moment is now. And the people who take it seriously, like BattleBox, John Roman at BattleBox, I keep citing this interview because all of e-commerce needs to hear it. Okay. Whatnot is now BattleBox's number 2 revenue channel. Number 2. It has surpassed Amazon. We're talking about the BattleBox that is on Netflix. Okay. We're talking about a big brand that has already sold and bought itself back and it's now running it back up to the moon. Okay. If you don't know what Whatnot is, if you don't think it's for brands, you're wrong. And that's why this integration lives. And once again, Shopify is help bringing it to the world of e-commerce. I am bullish. I'm bullish on Whatnot. I'm bullish on Shopify. This is Ecomm 4.0, rise of the underdog. And this is going to be a very real piece of how this era plays out.
Absolutely. Get on it. Start an agency or get your brand on it ASAP.
Do it ASAP. Shopify and Whatnot is here. Next, universal ads. CTV and linear is a very real thing. Do you have this, Jack? Do you have this link? I'd like you to bring it up. Okay, universal ads, if you guys don't know, is owned by Comcast. Okay, this is, if you haven't heard of universal ads, you need to. Okay, and what they have done is they have now made it easy not just to buy CTV, connected television ads, but now you can buy linear as well. Okay, no minimums, no middlemen. You go to universal ads, and now you're not just running ads on, whatever, somebody was watching on Hulu or they're watching on whatever app inside their smart TV. No, you want to target a very specific audience, a persona, get on a show, etc. You can now buy linear in conjunction with that. And the reason that I'm so fired up about this is that people still watch TV. Okay. They still watch TV.
Oh, yeah.
And it's largely untapped for e-com D2C brands. And what I'll say is that linear, you tell me if I'm wrong, but my view of linear is I've always wanted to do it. I've always wanted to test it out. When I was at Bruce Bolt, we wanted to get into it and we never did. Why? Because the whole experience is murky, shrouded in mystery. How do I get on there? Who do I talk to? How do I get on linear? I want to be on this spot or that. It's so mysterious. Who do I talk to? How do I make it happen? Now, Universal is bringing it all into one. I can get connected TV and linear all in one place. What do you think of this? I'm excited about this, Colin.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. The fact that there's no minimums is really helpful for all brands of all sizes. And this should get you super fired up. You should really run a test here and push some of your marketing budget dollars to test this out and see what happens. CTV is super real. People still watch TV. I still watch TV. A lot of Americans, a lot of everybody still watches TV, and you can get some great ROI. And just, you don't have to really reinvent the wheel with your ad. You can use probably some of the creative that you already have rummaging around your ad account and just maybe reposition it a little bit so it's horizontal. Let it fly and see what happens.
I'll also say there's just like a kind of a status factor with being on linear.
Cool.
It's cool.
It's cool.
It's like having a billboard. Like,
yeah, it's cool.
What's the ROI on the billboard? Don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, the ROI is cool. That's what it is. Like, you get a billboard and you take a picture of that thing, and then everybody sees it all the time. Like, oh, wow, man, golly, they must be huge. they're like, here, they're crushing. Like, I should buy from them. Like, I should follow them. I think linear has that same kind of appeal. I think it's got that same kind of status factor. You think so?
I agree. I completely agree. And it's cool to see. This is a great way to also target just basically everybody. I mean, you can get in every door possible, because some folks, some people don't have social media, but mostly everybody has TV. And so you can really get into every door.
I'll say this too. For the Bing crowd, older folks searching on Bing, they may not have whatever social platform, may not be swiping it, but you know what they may be watching? Maybe watching CNN, maybe watching Fox News. Okay.
Wheel of Fortune.
Maybe watching Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy.
There we go. Or Jeopardy.
So, if you are if you're a proponent of Bing and its various audiences, which Ryan Garrow he's bigger on Bing than Bing is.
Yeah, he loves it.
If you're like Garrow, big boy of LP running running Bing up and to the right. Maybe it's time to test a little linear as well. If nothing else, you'll get the swag factor.
Yeah.
Last story of the day. Very, very interesting collaboration that is happening. CTC now going in on attribution and bringing it to their customers with Northbeam. Jack, do you have this tweet? I'd love you to pull it up and show it to us. Great commercial here as well. I just have to say, looks like it's from the late 1990s. But this is a reversal for our friend. In some ways, it is a reversal for our friend Taylor Holiday. Now, used to be often a vocal proponent of, hey, attribution, we're not with it, we're in platform, etc. Now bringing Northbeam and its various capabilities, especially to their lower market clients in their global accelerator. Very, very interesting and exciting to watch. Your thoughts on this, Colin?
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Two behemoths in the space. And if they're talking and getting a little bit closer, that's good for the rest of the community.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. Many thanks to Chris Geiss of Seguno coming again. And of course, he's always got like a very interesting way that he exits our convos. I mean, with the announcement that now all of the meta fields and things inside of Seguno now live, one can appropriate them and expand all of your data usage and measuring and personalization inside of Shopify, where your data should be living. Many thanks to Laura and Ryan of Postscript for bringing knowledge behind the series that they have created that is now going to surely win a BAFTA award at the end of the year. And many thanks for Kendall joining us and dropping sauce on the social side of our sphere. And many thanks to Seguno, Postscript, and Incense for making this show possible. Colin, we'll give you the last word for our viewers and lovely listeners before we go.
Rock and roll, folks. The time is now.
The time is now. And you know what? I hope that everybody sees that Whatnot integration, and I hope it puts a question in their mind. I need to think about this and take a look at it. We'll see. Very interesting. We shall be back tomorrow. More news and guests to cover and talk. We'll be terminally online like our good friend Kendall. Until then, thank you for joining us. We will see you on the other side.